and welcome to the show that is called Side Character Quest. It is about characters that are on the side, like when you order a side at a restaurant. And sometimes, as you know, when you order sides at a restaurant, the sides can be the best part of a meal. And this is also a D&D show, if you didn't already know that. But now you know. And my name is Sam. And the show belongs to Ty. And here he is. Okay, Ty, your turn.
Those are all technically the things that I told you to do in the intro. So good job. Good, you did it.
Thank you.
You did it. Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you very much, Sam, for doing our introduction. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
That was one pregnant pause right there. How you want to just roll into the show?
I suppose that works.
That works. Okay. Fade out. And we're gonna do a fade in. You are back home at your farm, and
wait, what?
Yeah, just roll with it. You are...
But wait, how did I get back home?
You're just laying in bed. You've gotten back home.
Is this one of those things where, like, it was all a dream?
And you can feel the feet of your childhood cat just kind of, like, making biscuits on your belly.
Wait, no. Hold it. Okay, so I have a childhood cat. Is the childhood cat technically still alive, or is this like in the past and this cat is dead? Because if the cat is dead and I'm experiencing the cat again after I know that it's passed away, I'm going to be really upset when I wake up and I'm going to be like, oh my God.
No. This was childhood cat, maybe like that you got when you were like a middle school kind of age range. And like the cat was like a kitten in this.
So it's still alive.
It's still alive. It's definitely still alive. It's just back home. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't send that type of grief your way. But you can feel it just kind of like kneading on your belly. Yeah, you just feel that just kind of like kneading on your belly. As you lay in bed in the morning. And as you lay there, with this feeling of these hard paws kneading into your belly.
No, they wouldn't be hard though. They'd be like little soft jelly beans. Little beanie beans.
You hear you see your eyes peek open, and you look and you see the cat, and it looks at you, and it says, "I have a riddle for you." Hello.
And I slapped the giraffe off me.
You slap the giraffe. The Tukkar's familiar, Jer, goes tumbling off as you wake up violently. And then you see it just sort of like shimmer and reform and is now just sitting as this like 1 foot tall giraffe in the middle of the room next to you. In the middle of the small bunk.
Okay. So yep. Sam would be mad about this, but I feel like Leslie would not be. So I have to channel my, like, I don't even know. I was going to say, like, my nicer part, but I don't think that, yeah. No, never mind. Wait. Okay. Restart.
Did you slap? You slapped him. You slapped him off onto the ground. It woke him up. What are you going to do?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to shove you. I got so scared for a second. I didn't know where I was. I thought I was at home in my childhood bed, and then suddenly there is this giraffe on me. Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's perfectly fine.
Are you hurt? Are you okay? Do you need anything?
No, no, of course. I am perfectly fine. That is not why I am here. I am not here to seek aid from you. I am here because you, madam, have not done... This was his voice last time, right?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person about whether or not voices are the same voices.
You, madam, were able to enter our domicile without having paid the requisite toll.
You want money? Sorry, I'm confused.
No, I require that anyone.
Oh, you want me to cook breakfast or something?
No,
I'm very good at making eggs. I make the best eggs. I would be happy, more than happy, to cook for everybody. Just point me to where the kitchen is and where you keep all your stuff. And oh my gosh, I need to make it with some good spices. I hope you have a very healthy spice cabinet.
He has been trying to get like a worded edgewise through all of that, and you just like keep interrupting him.
Yeah, and Leslie, I get off the bed and I like put on my slippers and I'm like putting my hair up.
No, the thing is, like, riddles. I need you to answer one of my riddles if you're going to stay in a place of my allowing. Yes.
Oh, I get it now.
Yes. You get it. You understand
You're
the situation.
one of those like intellectual, like bodyguardy type people,
suppose.
And you need to like have like a password to get in. I didn't get any password in the mail from Professor Tucker though, so I don't know what the proper
No, I
key
thought that you
would
got
be.
it, but you didn't get it. No. No, I mean, like, I am going to ask you something, and then you have to solve it, and that proves that you are worthy of staying in a place where I am offering you hospitality. Correct? You understand? You see? Does this make sense?
I guess. Go ahead and ask your question.
All right. Only one color.
He sort of pulls himself up to his full height, shoulders, haunches back, and head kind of lifts up, like he's looking his nose up at you.
Only one color, but not one size. Stuck at the bottom, yet I easily fly. Present in sun, but not in rain. Doing no harm, and feeling no pain. What am I?
Okay, strange little tiny four-legged dog.
Well, technically what I am is not part of the ritual, so fine.
Can you repeat that?
Yes, only one color. That's important. But not...
I mean, I figure every part of it will be important because unless this is one of those trick question riddles, you have to tell me if it's a trick question
all riddles
riddle
are
because
kind
that's
of
entrapment.
Okay. Only one color, but not one size. Stuck at the bottom, yet I easily fly. Present in sun, but not in rain. Doing no harm and feeling no pain. What am I?
Okay, Ty. Now I gotta think.
Do you want me to send you the text of this?
No, I just might make you repeat it a bunch of times. Okay, only one color, but can come in many different sizes. So it's. I'm assuming it is like a noun.
That is a correct assumption, yes.
Okay. Stuck at the bottom. What was the other piece after stuck at the bottom?
Yet I easily fly.
Easily fly.
During all of this, roll me a perception check.
No, I want to get the riddle first.
I know. Well, okay, fine. You are focused.
I feel like Leslie would be really focused on the riddle now.
Fair.
I don't think that Leslie would be thinking or perceiving anything.
Totally fair. Thank you for being honest.
Okay, so it's stuck at the bottom, but it can easily fly. It's only present in sun, but not in the rain. Do birds like it when it rains? I mean, I feel like birds are still around even when it rains. They don't just disappear because it rains.
As you say that, Jer looks over at Feather, who's just kind of sitting in a corner when you mention bird. And Feather is just kind of like sitting there completely like asleep and all fluffed up. You know that sort of look that the chickens get when they're roosting? Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, but I'm not talking to this is Sam talking.
Okay.
Not Leslie talking. I'm trying to think. Because I feel like Leslie would get this faster than Sam would.
Fair. One thing I'm going to give as a note to you is if you would like a hint or something, then you could always roll a intelligence check or something like that.
No.
Okay.
You should have seen this coming, Ty. Just saying.
That's fair. That's fair. No, I'm totally on board.
Yeah, because in real life, if you get a riddle, you can't just like roll a dice and then get a hint. Stuck at the bottom, but only can fly? Easily fly. Do you think I'm not going to get it without a hint?
I will tell you that I think stuck at the bottom yet I easily fly is probably the most confusing part of the riddle. So if you focus on some of the other parts, then you'll probably be better off.
Only one color, but comes in many sizes. I feel like there's lots of things that come in only one color, but then many sizes. Like a white t-shirt comes in only one color, but you can get lots of sizes of a t-shirt.
I'll give you this hint. It is not a white t-shirt.
No. Present in sun, but not when it rains. Okay, now I'm thinking of like clouds. They kind of come in just one color, but there's lots of sizes. You get them when it's sunny, but when it rains, technically you still have clouds when it rains though. Doing no harm and feeling no pain. So it can't be an animal. Because most animals feel pain. Doing no harm. So it does no harm, then it must not do much. Because most things that do anything cause harm.
I can see the gears turning.
Shush. It's not an animal. It doesn't really have that much of a purpose. I'm assuming it's not man-made. Because if it's man-made, it would probably do harm. Because people suck. So I'm looking for some other thing that occurs naturally but is not alive. The easily fly and the stuck at the bottom thing. I don't know why I keep thinking of rocks.
I feel like when this clicks for you, you are either going to be mad at it or you are going to be like, oh, like you're going to either be really happy or really mad.
What is something that is present in the sun but not in the rain?
Think about what. No, I don't want to give you a hint unless you want a hint.
What about shadows? Shadows are present in the sun, but not in the rain.
I can see something
They're one
clicking.
color. Okay, I go with shadow.
Oh, final answer?
Why not?
Oh, lovely.
And with that, Jer like sort of does a little trot in a circle and just looks so pleased.
Wonderful. Oh, I can finally accept your presence here. Thank you for joining us in our humble abode.
And he does that thing where he like drops one of his legs and like, that thing from the opening of The Lion King where the giraffes like bow.
Did giraffes actually do that?
I assume no. But at the same time, maybe.
I mean, I know that they don't do that, but like, could they physically do it?
Could they do that? I would guess that anatomically, maybe skeletally, they could. But whether their like musculature would allow them to do that, I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Maybe it's one of those things where it'd be like really, really difficult if they tried to do it. But at any rate, he does that, and then he raises up. Then you hear a crash from another room, and Jer raises set up, looks at you, and says,
"Hello, have a lovely day,"
and then like becomes ephemeral again and shimmers out of the room.
Well, that was weird. I guess I might as well just go make them eggs now.
Yeah. So you
is Tucker in the room?
Tucker, you look around the room and you see the sort of bedroll. Did you sleep on the ground or did you sleep on the bed? I forget.
I don't know. Whichever one I did.
Whichever one you did.
Probably would have slept on the ground to be nice.
And let Tucker on the bed. You look at the bed and Tucker is not there. Tucker is not there. That space is just empty right now.
Okay, so I think I'm not going to think anything of it and just like walk down the stairs to the kitchen.
So there are no stairs going down, but as you exit the bedroom, you're in that very narrow hallway so you may recall there is a small stone building at the foot of the lighthouse, And that building had a sort of like opening foyer, which is where Jer first greeted you, and then that led back into a hallway that had a couple of bedrooms on the side, which is one of the ones which you're in, and as well as a storeroom that had a small oven, and then it led all the way back to the tower itself. So if you wanted to make eggs or breakfast or anything, you could go into that storeroom, and there's a little potbelly stove that you could use if you wanted.
Okay, that's what I do.
Okay. Roll me a little, I don't know, what would this be? Like a little performance, a survival check to see how good of a job you do scrounging up food from this place. You'll have advantage. See how good of a job you do making breakfast with all the seasonings and eggs and whatever that are available to you.
Okay. That is a 12.
Yeah, you do a perfectly serviceable job. You make some nice eggs. You find one thing to put as the side. What is that? What do you get?
Well, because everyone knows sometimes the sides are the best part of a meal. Potatoes.
Potatoes. You get
skillet potatoes because I can put it in the skillet and I can like fry it up.
That's
with some onions.
Oh, onions. You do a pretty good job putting all this together. There's unfortunately no seasonings for you to use, none that you feel confident in how well they would cook.
There's got to be some salt and pepper though.
There's some salt and pepper, but like
okay.
There's some salt. There's some rock salt, but there's not any pepper.
Leslie would have just tried something in the closet.
Okay.
I'd just grab a spice, throw it in there. We'll see how it goes. Could be bad. But.
So anyway, you end up getting this cast iron skillet full of potatoes, and you also get a big serving bowl of eggs, and then maybe 3 bowls, one for each of the 3 of you.
Does Jer eat eggs and potatoes?
You don't know.
Because he talks.
Yeah, he talks.
So he's not like a normal giraffe.
No, he does not.
I will set 4.
Okay, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. So now you find yourself in this space. So presumably everybody is either in the lighthouse itself or maybe outside, but they're not in the bedroom. They're not in the storeroom, and I assume you're not going to barge into Professor Tucker's bedroom, so there's only 2 places that they could be.
Yeah, I guess I'll go look for them.
Do you go outside? Do you go into the lighthouse?
Into the lighthouse?
Okay. You head into down the hall to and the hall ends against a stone wall that is clearly older. It's hard to tell exactly how much older, but it's clearly older than the stone building that you are in currently. Like this was built on as an attachment to the lighthouse. And as you open up the door into this space, you step into this big open tower of the lighthouse. The ground level of the tower is covered with cushions. They are big, soft, and fluffy. There is barely room to walk in, but there's a path that does cut from the door that you were entering through to a small writing desk. And there's also a space cleared around a structure of just intensely glowing metal. The walls around you in this room are stone, clearly, but they are painted with some sort of material that's made them very easy to write on. So there's countless figures drawn out, notes, scribbles, shapes, dates, etc. The lighthouse has a metal staircase in the center, a spiral that just goes up and up and up. There's no visible supports on it other than just the stairs and the railway itself. And on the opposite side of the room from you, you see Professor Tucker. He is... he looks like he was trying to scratch something onto the chalkboard earlier. There's a bunch of these complex symbols that are just out there, but on the ground around him are just dozens of these fractured blue bottles, and you see Tucker standing nearby, just sort of like crushing one of them into the ground with her boot. as Tukkar is doing that, I'll refer to Tukkar as Tukkar, and I'll refer to Professor Tukkar as Professor. As the professor,
Or Dr. Tukkar.
or the doctor.
The doctor.
The doctor. The professor is, as you walk in, he is adjusting his tweed coat and his colored spectacles and like looking at Tukkar. Hey, could you maybe not do that? I've been working on this for a while, and I'd really appreciate if you didn't. Oh, geez. Okay. Okay. Oh, hey, Leslie, maybe you could get your friend, some entertainment or something? I don't know, he looks very clearly flustered.
Sure thing. I actually just made some breakfast, some eggs, and some skillet potatoes. I set 4 place settings if you guys want any.
Tukkar walks over, and gives you a very quick nod and just takes the whole skillet and like goes and plops onto a pile of cushions over in one side, as far away from that glowing metal space as possible, and just starts eating the potatoes.
So, Professor Tukkar, what are these things? And I point to the blue stuff that Tukkar was smashing.
Oh, yeah. So I was doing some research for the peak. Basically, these things are sort of designed. This is a little. I don't know if this is too over your head. Do you have any?
Try me.
Okay. So basically, and he starts going into like describing the actual mechanics of the magic. Like, you do this. This thing does whatever. Blah 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 blah.
And Leslie just nods her head. And Leslie's following like 70% of it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. That's basically he is very clearly laying down some like complicated stuff, but you are following it. Like, you can kind of feel like he is dumbing it down, but in a way that like you're like, I don't really need you to dumb it down that much. Like, you are following it much better than he thinks you are. Mm-hmm. But he points out like various symbols that are like scratched into the blue, and basically relays.
I get really excited because I like the symbol stuff.
Yeah. So he's basically describing to you how these bottles are used to contain spirits or magical forces. They're basically wards, basically, like abjuration kind of stuff. Yeah, so
Ty, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you were re-listening to the earlier episodes, do you remember what my thing was I said to open up my notebook?
I don't think you had settled on something.
What had I said before?
You had said like I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. And then you were like, that doesn't work because that's the Harry Potter thing. And so then you proposed like, I solemnly swear that I'm up to spread joy and happiness to everyone I meet. And I think that was the closest that you actually came to like coming up with something. But I don't think that actually, I don't know if that actually was during a part that was part of the show. I think that might have just been us chatting.
Okay. Well, I pull out my notebook.
Okay.
And I whisper to it whatever my saying is.
Whatever your saying is.
And I open it and I take notes.
Okay. So as you're taking notes, Professor Tukkar like notices that you're like scratching things, and he's like, "Well, yeah. Wait, are you following what I'm laying down for you right now?"
A little bit. It reminds me of, and then I say all this other stuff related to some other magic from some other part of the world that I know of that's like kind of familiar, and then I show him some of my sketches, which are different, but they are like serving a similar purpose.
Yeah, it's kind of in the vein of if two different parts of the real world came up with geometry at the same time and were described like had different symbols, but they all like meant the same thing. That's basically what's going on here.
Yeah, or just like algebra, but instead of using like X's and Y's, maybe use some other variable.
Wow. This is impressive stuff. You've never like trained with an Arithmancer, have you?
No, I've just been trying to read as much as I can, just pick up the books, learn from people. I really find that if you just stop for a moment and just breathe in the fresh air, you can pick up and learn a lot.
Well, I mean, that's not that far off of that's kind of a live view of magic. I take more of the learned view of magic, but it seems like you've somehow managed to like land on the same sort of stuff that I'm laying down. That's amazing. I don't know how you do this, but yeah. He seems impressed with like what you have like sketched out, and he's like sort of circling over to look over your shoulder at this the journal and like at the things that you've been scribbling down.
As he's doing that, I kind of look over at that spot that you said that's kind of like glowing weirdly, and I'm like, Professor, what's that over there?
Oh, that's just my radiator. Just keeps the place nice and toasty. I see you got those things like scribbled on it. Makes the metal get really hot and keeps the place nice and warm.
Interesting. See, I did something like this once.
Unnatural.
I did something like this once when it was, okay, so I get cold very easily.
Yeah.
And so it was one winter, it was the coldest winter in my village, and I was just so cold. And so I found some rocks, some really nice, good flat rocks, and I scratched some stuff on them, and they got nice and toasty, and I just kept them in my mittens, and I was quite warm.
Wow, that's really impressive. I mean, you're just coming up with this stuff all on your own. I don't understand. Wow.
Well, it just makes sense. Once you add, and I pull over to a certain page, and I'm like, once you understand this concept, and then you understand this concept, and then obviously, 2 and 2 together, you gotta go down this road, and then suddenly, boom, bada bing, you got it.
Wow. I would like you to do something here. I think that you two are going to like chat for a little bit, just trading notes on on like how you have approached magic. Mm-hmm. And I want you to roll me a Arcana check, I guess. Yeah, roll me an Arcana check right now. You're looking for like over, say, 12 or 14. 12. You're looking for over a 12. Beat a 12.
Okay, do I get advantage or no?
I'm gonna say no.
Boo. Ha-ha! It's a non-natural 20.
Whoa, nice. Yeah, so you guys chat for the next like the minutes like melt by into hours, and after maybe 2 hours, like deep into the morning, basically.
Has Tukkar like fallen asleep on the cushions?
Tukkar is totally like passed out and is just like fallen asleep, and has also like as you guys have been chatting like moved over towards the radiator and is now like just kind of like curled up next to it and is just like letting the heat like wave over them. But you and the professor chat for however long, for a couple hours, and he eventually starts showing you kind of how like the Arithmancers of Mount Renna, the dwarven Arithmancers, like treat this same form of magic that you do, and he teaches you the cantrip Minor Arithmancy, which you can add to your spell list.
Cool. What does it do?
I will send you a list of things it does. So it's kind of a so it is a homebrew rule, and I kind of made it for folks that are listening. It's kind of in the vein of prestidigitation or druidcraft, where it's has fairly weak effects, but it has a bunch of different effects. So one moment. I've just sent you an image of all the stuff. So it has a lot to do with like material stuff, but the sort of things it can do include like determining what an object is made of, determining like information about when an object was handled, finding things, generating a heatless light, that sort of stuff.
Cool. All right, I'm feeling like it's time for a tea break.
Ah, okay. What? So what is your plan now? I mean, I've got all my books prepared for you. It's gonna take me maybe like another day or so to get everything ready for you to head out. Is there anything that you still want to do while you're in town?
Oh, there's a few things, and please take your time. Oh, there is actually something that I was planning on doing today. Well,
yeah?
Really, 2 things I was planning on doing today. I had a Mount Renna fog the other day at that tea shop.
Yeah?
Oh, so good. I was thinking I'd take Tukkar over there, get her one as well. I think she might enjoy it.
Okay.
And then, when I was going to this...
He looks a little worried when you say that, but continue.
And then when I was over at that Sanding Stone, so cool, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So cool. Oh my goodness. I wish.
Oh, some of the oldest magic that's around.
That's what I heard. Oh, if only I could just go there for like an hour to study it, but I only have 5 minutes. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. They don't let you get very close to it. I've tried to do things with it. They don't let you.
So unfair. You're just keeping all that magic for themselves. If they just let us study it, we could maybe replicate it, and then just think of how amazing everything could be if we could just give this technology to everybody.
It's crazy. I mean, we have no way to send messages over long distances except for these things. It's like if we could figure out how to replicate this, make it happen in other situations, like it would be phenomenal.
I know, and then people would be able to be more free as far as their movements because they wouldn't have to worry about how long they'd be away from home. They could contact people. I could call my mother right now and tell her all the amazing people I've met since I've been here. Which reminds me, when I was over by that Sending Stone, I met a nice man named Durham.
Oh.
Have you heard of him?
Oh. Yeah. I don't know if I would call him an... Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could call him a nice man, I suppose. Yeah, I know Durham.
There were some books that he wanted me to give to him. And, you know, as a librarian, I feel like if someone asks for a book to borrow out of the goodness of their heart because they want to learn, I feel like it is my duty to help them out.
I suppose. Yeah, that sounds correct. It's hard for me to argue.
Because who are we to be the gatekeepers of knowledge?
I wouldn't want to...
We should not be the gatekeepers of knowledge. That should be for everyone.
I mean, I suppose I would be a terrible person if I was to fight that, argue against that, I suppose.
Yeah, so I was thinking I'd give him some books.
Where are you getting these books?
I was wondering if I could borrow some of yours.
Really? Why didn't Durham come ask me for the books?
Well, I think he just saw it was convenient. He was waiting in line for the Sending Stone. I was waiting in line for the Sending Stone.
Okay, do you think you're gonna add anything to this argument, or do you want to roll me a charisma check?
Probably charisma check, because I don't think I have anything else to add to it.
All right, do a what's the word? Persuasion.
Persuasion. I only add 1 to this, so. Haha, 19.
19. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I can't really argue against that. Sam is dancing right now on the camera. Well, I guess I can't really argue against that. My library is over there, and he gestures to some trunks that are like covered with books and stuff like that. No. I guess I didn't really think about where the books that he was preparing for you are. There's a corner of the room where there's a bunch of books that are like piled up, and those are the books that...
Do you use the Dewey Decimal System?
No, I use
You really shouldn't. You really should.
Okay.
I can help you set it up if you like when I get back later today.
Okay. Well, you can look through those, and I suppose you can check out my stuff in my room if you don't find what you need in there. But just let me know if it's something from my collection. Let me know so that I can make sure to get it back from him later.
Of course.
Okay. Cool.
Do you remember what the books were, by the way, Ty?
I don't know if I said their name. I'll look it up real quick. See if I said their name.
Or you said what area?
I don't. I think that I must have said like the title or maybe who wrote it or something like that. But there were 3 books, and you remember that they were that he had specified what their names were. If he said what they were about, it slipped your mind. Had something to do with magic, some sort of magical books. Listen, you could have taken notes.
Well, okay, let's say Leslie does remember, because I feel like she would. We just don't.
You definitely remember the titles of them, or the names of the people that wrote them, one or the other.
That's fair.
So you can definitely find the books. You may not remember what they're about, is what I'm saying. If he told you, you don't remember.
Okay, let's say I've got my books, I've got my chicken, I've got my bike.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, I shouldn't take the bike because Tucker doesn't have a bike.
Oh, that's true.
Damn, I wanted to use a flying bike.
Yep.
Okay, fine. I just got the books, I got the chicken, and I got Tucker, and we're gonna go to the tea shop.
Okay, you guys have a good time. The professor looks like a little concerned about you taking Tucker, but isn't going to stop you. You kind of get the impression that he doesn't have to watch over her because she slaughtered his goat yesterday, and also like was crushing some bottles.
Hello and welcome to Side Trivia Quest, a special sponsored segment brought to you by Flying Crow Coffee. Flying Crow Coffee, super fresh coffees, roasted in tiny batches. Today we are joined by our old friend Eli. Say hello, Eli.
I am not that old.
You are 53 years old. Are you ready for your question, Eli?
Yeah, I'm feeling it, Ty. I'm feeling good, feeling great. Let's do this.
Great. What number did I just roll? Do you need a hint, Eli?
Is it higher or lower than 10?
It was higher than 10.
17.
Is that your final answer?
It's final answer.
Ah, that was 11, Eli. That was 11. Ah. Damn. I mean, jingle, dang,
Ding.
dingum.
Gosh.
Hey, Flying Crow, do you mind if we curse? I probably should have asked you that ahead of all of this. Anyway.
I fucking hope so.
Let's fucking hope so. Well, that was fun. Thanks again to Flying Crow Coffee. Make sure to use the discount code SCQ10 at checkout to let them know we sent you and to get 10% off a single order or off your first subscription order. Find them at flyingcrowcoffee.com. Back to the show.
So as we're walking back down to like the town and the tea shop, I'm just telling Tucker all of these stories. First, I'm telling her about my travels to Mount Renna. I told her all about how I met Feather, and now I'm like gotten so off topic. I'm talking about like, you know, all sorts of random stuff about my life and a lot about the city of on the circle.
What is how far is that from here?
How far is it, Ty?
Like a few weeks travel.
It's a few weeks travel.
So, you remember your time there?
Yes. I just came from there.
Is that normal for you to remember that far back?
Yeah, I have a pretty good memory. My mama always said I had the best memory, like an elephant.
She nods at that, and is just walking alongside you.
I pause, and I'm like, wait, Tucker, do you not remember a few weeks back?
She stops a few steps ahead of you and then turns and looks at you and says,
I don't even remember.
I have turned this into like a pirate voice.
I don't even remember my name.
I guess that makes sense since you took Professor Tucker's name.
It's a good name.
It is. No, it is.
It's a good name.
I agree. You did a good
Yes.
choice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, today, after we get some tea and I drop off these books to Durham, if you'd like, we can try to retrace your steps and see where you came from, and maybe we can find out a little bit about what happened to you.
I would appreciate that. I would like to know where my city is as well. Even if it is a few weeks away.
And you guys continue walking to the
Tea shop.
to the walls of Mount Renna.
Yeah.
As you approach the city again, you can feel like the bite of the wind of these mountains, ripping into you. Tukkar seems not terribly phased, possibly because they had come in basically through a blizzard the other day, and so this seems like relatively light to them. But you can feel also that just ripping into you, and you're very glad that you have your traveling cloak.
I am thinking about the conversation I had with the professor, and I do two things.
Yes.
So Feather, I'm assuming Feather has like a little cloak on.
Yep.
Because Feather's on my shoulder.
Wait, I just said yep to that. Like, of course, the chicken has a cloak. Okay, I guess I yes-anded that into existence. You made it. Wait. Can I propose something?
Yes.
You took a pillow cover from one of the cushions in the lighthouse.
Leslie would do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I take Feather's cushion.
It's got a little tassel on the top of the head.
Perfect. I take the
it's
little
so
pillow. And I have my pen and I write the symbols to warm up the cloak, so that way it gets a little toasty. It's not hot. It's just like a little like oof, just like a little and I put it on Feather so Feather can be a little toasty, and then I do the same thing on a rock and I put it in my mittens.
I want you to roll me a quick Arcana check to see if you can do this. I will say that this is the reason you can do this is because you've done it before,
and we just talked about it.
And also, it can be a variation of the minor arithmancy that you just learned. So that's why it's possible. But I'm still gonna make you roll for it to see if you're able to do it.
Okay, and it's an Arcana check.
Yeah, it's like you're looking for a 10, like very easy. Oh, what'd you go?
I got a 9.
I will let you have succeeded in doing one of those. Two
Okay,
objects.
for Feather then.
Okay, you do it for
Let's say
Feather.
it was harder because it was a rock.
Yeah, you do it with Feather, and it works pretty seamlessly. But for some reason, the rock you just can't get. Maybe you can't get the symbols like scratched in well enough, and you see them like glow, and then just kind of.
Yeah, because I'm
away.
using a pen.
Yeah, doesn't quite clip in very well.
Okay, I toss the rock.
Okay, but you guys get up to the city, and Feather's like sitting on your shoulder and is like nice fluffed up, and is very comfy. Tukkar is walking beside you, and as you approach the wall, the doors, the gates of the city walls are wide open, just allowing people to meander in and out. Roll me a perception check as you come in.
8.
8. Okay, you don't really notice anything as you walk into town, but you're walking into town with Tukkar, and you're walking down the street.
I'm Feather.
And Feather. And you pass by a couple of people here or there walking with this woman. And you what do you do?
I go to the tea shop.
All right, you go into the tea shop, order a Renafog.
2 Renafogs.
2 Renafogs.
Does Feather want anything?
Feather doesn't want anything. Feather's good.
Okay.
So roll me an insight check as you sit down and sip your fog.
14.
14. Looking around the room, there's not a lot of people in the tea shop with you right now, but you can tell that like all eyes are on you two. People look thrown by your presence. Everybody else in here is clearly like dwarven, and the seeing like a human and an orc together, you can tell that they're like surprised. Like,
Well, they need to get out more.
yeah, they're not like aggressive or anything. They're just like, you can see them very, very like conspicuously staring. More so at
I think Leslie
than
would choose to ignore this.
Yeah.
I think I would be a bit more pissed that
Oh,
people are being so rude.
Yeah.
And they don't have, like, I don't know. Anyway, Leslie's
There's
fine.
definitely a couple of people who are staring in like this is an uncomfortable amount of staring. But you choose to ignore it, and you guys pay your little tab and head out on your way.
How'd you like your drink, Tucker?
It was very sweet. Good, I suppose. Thank you.
I love these things so much. It's my favorite way to drink my tea. If I got some hot milk in that, some lavender.
Very good. I enjoyed it.
Good, I'm glad. So before we go and look in the woods by where I found you last night, I just have to drop off these here books, and I like shake my little bag to Durham. And I think he's this way. He said. Would he be at the lodge, Ty?
He would be at the lodge. That's where he told you he would be. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we go.
Okay. As you are walking into,
I'm like chatting incessantly, just like.
As you are walking, you guys go to that sort of center half circle where that sculpture of the tree, the cast iron tree with the stained glass leaves is.
As we go, I like also point out stuff to Tucker that I had like read about Mount Renna because Leslie read the entire like Mount Renna like tourist brochure backwards and forwards. So I don't know any like probably maybe really intense like super secret stuff, but like all the touristy shit I know.
Gotcha. Yeah, totally. Roll me another perception check, I think, because as you're pointing things out.
Making me roll a lot.
When I was editing one of your last episodes, you called me out for not having you roll, so I'm like, let's make you roll. 15. So you notice a couple of things. One, you notice that there are far fewer people out and about today. There are around, but there are less of them. The other thing is...
I noticed a dragonborn fall.
Yes. As you guys are walking into the tunnel, you notice a tall figure setting up shop to juggle in that circle.
I knew it.
They don't appear to be following you at this point. They appear to have followed you up to this point and are now setting up shop.
Do I recognize them?
Oh, yeah. You recognize it as the same... Assuming Leslie is at least as cognizant of this character as you are.
Well, no, because and they introduced themselves as not. Last time I saw them.
You would recognize them, but you don't notice them until you are like getting ready to go into the tunnel, and you are turning around to point something out to Tucker, and you see this dragonborn setting up shop in the circle.
I make a mental note, but I don't want to tell Tucker because I don't want to alarm him.
Yes. Do you make eye contact or anything like that? Do you alert in any way Not to the fact that Not is there?
No, not yet, because I think Leslie's a little freaked out. Because, okay, so think about this from, like, Leslie's perspective for a second here. She's a very trusting person.
Totally.
Who likes to see the best in people. She had a pretty big scare the night before.
Yeah.
And, like, I think she tries to affirm her view of the world that people are truly good by, like, trying to get to know people, like she's doing with Tucker right now. And I think that brings her comfort to be like, okay, this person seemed scary the night before, but they were only scary because I didn't know them and I didn't know their story. And now I know that this poor person has like lost their memory and is like stuck in a strange world. And like, okay, I can have like a lot of empathy for them.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I think Leslie is not totally stupid that she isn't aware that like there are creepy people.
Yeah.
And I think that like Not has effectively like raised her hackles in such a way. And I feel like they're also difficult enough to place in the sense that they're very con artisty vibes. So I think Leslie is kind of like a little freaked.
And I believe he did say that he was trying to protect Hosalda's investment or something along those lines. What is that making you think?
It's the whole thing is making me uncomfortable.
Okay.
I think it's like enough that Leslie would rather not think about it, because like she's also like Hosalda has made her dreams come true.
Oh yeah, totally. You don't want to admit to yourself that the person making your dreams come true might have some sort of ulterior motives, because then that means your dreams aren't going to come true.
Right, exactly.
That's the whole point of a con man.
Right. So I think that Leslie is just all around really freaked out by this person and doesn't totally want to engage with the idea of them. So I think that's why she's
Totally.
not going to acknowledge them. I think she's going to kind of just try to pretend that it's the same way that she like tried to pretend that like the people who were staring weren't really staring, because, you know, she just doesn't want to deal with that.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, she knows that this could be a problem. So I think it's just like, I'm not thinking about this right now. I have things I have to do, but I'm cataloging this for later.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you continue on into the tunnels. You guys just leave the circle and into the tunnels? Mm-hmm. I believe I said in Lore's arc that the rightmost path led up to Derma Lodge. I'm not 100% sure on that, but let's say that it was. You guys go in the rightmost tunnel, and it very...
Secret tunnel!
Secret tunnel!
Secret tunnel!
It like kind of zigzags up, and you can tell that it is taking you up the mountain. And then it exits out onto a cliff face, and as it exits out, you can feel like the wind has whipped up considerably. Just the difference from
Is Feather okay?
Feather is okay, thanks to your little like cloak and the little magic that you had put on them. But you can tell like as you like step out.
I hold Feather.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you can feel their feathers have like fluffed up. And Tukkar kind of like rolls in her shoulders and like kind of clutches her arms as she's like just sort of like keeping herself warm as you guys make your way up the side of the mountain towards Derma Lodge. Tukkar, the professor, had told you that this was going to be here, that this short walk was going to be here, and that it wasn't too long. So yeah, you make your way up, and as you round a bend going up the side of this mountain, you see out ahead of you, built into the cliff face, this massive structure that you think initially like, oh, these are stained glass windows, but it's really more like stained glass walls. Like the entire walls of this structure are just glass and are this beautiful mosaic.
I pause for a second just to marvel at it.
Yeah, and it is gorgeous, and it makes you almost forget the cold that is ripping at you right now. And in the center of
what are there images of in the stained?
What are the images of? It is a lot of it seems abstract, but as you sort of like take a closer look, you can kind of get a vibe of like of maybe like it's really abstract. It's hard to tell, but you can see forms like humanoid forms, presumably dwarven, that appear to be moving forward, pushing maybe, or like fighting something, or maybe building something. It's hard to like tell because it's super abstract.
How old is it?
How old is it? Mm-hmm. What would that be? I guess roll me a history check.
I feel like I would know this if I read it in my pamphlet.
Yes, in your pamphlet. Beautiful. You have given yourself a
advantage.
I'm not going to say you gave yourself advantage. I'm going to say that you gave yourself the opportunity to know this at all. Because I think that we established earlier that you didn't know a lot about this place, but you have been reading this book.
Okay, well, I got 14 anyway.
You know that Mount Renna itself, like reading your booklet, you know that Mount Renna is very, very old. It is basically as this city, Mount Renna, the city, not Mount Renna, the mountain. Obviously, the mountain's very old. But Mount Renna, the city, stretches back as far as the Loss, or the Forgetting, goes by different names. But it is...
Whoa. What do you mean the Loss or the Forgetting?
So...
when did this come up? Whose arc?
This has not come up in an arc before.
Tell me more.
Okay, tell you more. I will play off of this, continuing off of that 14 and the idea, the fact that you were, if this would have piqued your interest, Sam, this definitely would have, at some point, this would have piqued Leslie's interest. So the Loss or the Forgetting is basically a period of time a moment in history where imagine the real world right now. Imagine like the world we are as it is now. Mm-hmm. Imagine if the collective memory of the world was erased. But all of these structures, all of the cities, all of the technology was still there. So imagine that, like, we don't know how we got here, but we know that now Philadelphia still exists, Atlanta still exists, New York City still exists, but we're like, where the fuck did these things come from? I'm living in New York City. Where did New York City come from? That is the loss. That is the forgetting. That is a moment in history where everything was just gone. And Mount Renna reaches back to that moment in history.
Does Cirque?
Cirque also does, yes. Cirque, the city on the circle where you are from, also does. Although you would know that Cirque, a lot of Cirque has been built up in the last few hundred years. So more recently than the Lost.
And Tukkar does not remember anything.
Tukkar.
No, Tukkar does not. You're eyeballing me. You're giving me a look. Yeah, that is correct.
I feel like I just stumbled onto something pretty big.
So you were asking like how old this place was. You know that although Mount Renna reaches back all the way to this moment in history, Derma Lodge is very, very old, but the lodge itself, the stained glass windows, according to your guidebook, does not reach back quite that far. It was made in somewhere like the first 100 years after the loss. You don't know what to do with this.
You just kind of just dropped this like bomb on me here, Ty. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I don't even I just asked you a simple little question and suddenly I'm getting a big whole heap of factoids.
Well, we're about an hour in. If you want to end here and then pick up going in.
Okay, but can I have a little tiny little side episode to go on top of this episode of Feather doing something?
Like what?
I mean, okay, so.
Yeah.
Rolling back.
Okay.
The episode.
Okay, we're rolling back the episode.
When I was in Professor Tucker's lighthouse.
Yes.
And we were going over and we were geeking out over the magic.
Yes.
And Tukkar was eating potatoes and then falling asleep by the radiator.
Yes.
What was Feather doing?
Oh boy. So Feather was meandering over. Feather was at first was just like kind of fluffed up on the ground next to you. They were, but then they eventually like got up, and they were starting to shuffle around, and Jer popped up next to them.
Is Jer gonna give Feather a riddle?
Hello, my friend. So?
Does Jer recognize that Feather? Leslie has adopted Feather as her familiar. Is Jer aware of this?
So, my friend. Here's the situation.
And then the mood music goes in. And I feel like there's gonna be in Feather's mind. Let's get into Feather's mind.
Okay, Feather's mind.
There's music in Feather's mind. It's kind of like that, old school, Disney jazz type music. Just the background jazzy type Disney music that you have in the older Disney movies. It's just doop 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 doop.
Are you proposing sexual tension between Jer and Feather? What's happening here?
No, I'm just saying that Feather's mind is a calm, cool, just Disney happy jazzy vibe that Feather just gets to live in all the time.
Well,
kind of like Aristocats, the jazzy, just smooth jazz Aristocats, just in Feather's mind.
So Jer, you can see, we can see through Feather's eyes, and we can see Jer looking directly, intently at Feather, and we can see Jer talking to Feather, and we can hear like wah 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 as Feather is just kind of like ta 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 ta, and we hear like Jer then as the camera focuses in, Jer becomes fully in focus.
What I'm saying is, you and I are not quite as different as we may seem, and if you need any pointers in the best way to serve your wizard, well, I'll be around for the rest of the day, however long you guys are here. So just feel free to consult with me, a true master of the trade.
And I think that's where we're gonna wrap things up today. Well, thank you, Sam, for joining me today. And I hope you listening had fun. Oh goodness! All right, guys, how about we go ahead and pitter patter on out of here? All right, let's stop.
Thanks to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Find them at thejoydrops.com. You can find us at sidecharacterquest.com, at SCQ Podcast on Twitter, or by email at sidecharacterquest@gmail.com.
The Scavengers Network.
Creator driven,
Community focused.
treasured content.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear and tell you about the comedy podcast Unnatural 20s.
Do we really want to limit ourselves to just saying we're only a comedy podcast? You're right, we have a lot to offer, like intellectual conversations. Well, did you guys know Australia once lost a war entirely to emus?
Do you think emus frown upside down because they're in Australia?
Like they're below the equator?
Yeah, duh.
Health and fitness.
Pasta is great, but you usually have a lot of extras. But have no fear. Thigh-warmed pasta is here. Plop the bag of leftover pasta on your thighs and eat those puppies like popcorn.
We have microwaves.
I have thighs.
You know what? Actually, we can never decide what we're going to talk about, and that's why we leave the fate of each episode up to the rolls of a d20. So download Unnatural 20s on your favorite podcast app and roll with us every Monday.
This is just gonna all just be bloop stuff.
All right, let's do our little count off. 1,
2,
3,
4,
5.
30.
Okay, see, look at you being rude. All right.
Wait, no. Let's do it for real.
Okay, we're gonna do it for real this time. Real professional like.
At the same time.
1.
Yeah. No, at the same time.
At the same time. Like we're gonna do it together. We're both gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
Okay, we're
ready.
All right.
1, 2,
2,
3, 4, 5,
6,
I
7.
thought we said we're going to 5.
What? Oh, okay. That did not sound like it was together at all.
For you?
No, that was really bad.
Stuck at the bottom, yet I...
Jesus, that was loud.
You're going to have to cut out a lot of my thinking. Okay.
Oh, no, I do that all the time.
All right.
Not just with you, but with everybody. Mostly with Mallory.
What?
I just wasn't expecting this to have ground things to a halt this quickly. I'm sorry.
I'm assuming it's not even anything like a plant life, because I guess plants also feel pain, which is to the chagrin of many vegetarians when they find out that. Do 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 do. Do 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 boop 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 bop ba doop doo doop ba doo 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 doop boop ba da doop boop 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 Ba-da-doo, 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 boop, boop, ba-da-doo, 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 boom, boom, ba-da-dum, 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 dun, dun, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, dun, 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 da-da-da-da.
Did I not say what they were? Did I not take notes on this? It was real dumb, if that's the case.
Wow.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck, Ty?
You can't curse like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is a family-friendly fantasy show.
Family friendly. Yep.
You can only say shit.
Roll me a perception check as you come in.
8.
8. Okay. I want you next to take a break with me as we go to get some water and use the bathroom.
Okay.
I'll see which one of those I use.
Da 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 da. Bop.
That was fun. We
Yep,
can stop
that was
recording.
good.